Hi, hello, my name is Loretta Yodeji, and today we're going to be reviewing one of the most interesting, exciting, one of the best books I've ever come across. And guess what? I bought it for £1 at the £1 store. So, I've read a couple of books and they cost £4 plus, £8 plus. This is the cheapest book I've ever bought when it comes to pound. When it comes to the United Kingdom, if I went to Israel or whatever country and buy books in their denomination, that doesn't count. I'm talking about England. In England, this is the cheapest book I've ever bought, and it's £1. Seriously, how cheap can the books really get? So it's £1, and it's very interesting. It's by Justin Halpern. It's a beautiful, realistic book where Justin tells us how his dad, how him and his dad relates and related when they were growing. It tells you about their relationship. It's an amazing relationship. It makes you happy. It makes you sometimes pity him when he doesn't get a direct answer from his dad. And then he also makes you understand the relationship he had with his mom and probably his siblings too, because they did mention his siblings in the book. The book is titled I Suck at Girls. Shit, my dad says. His dad really did say a lot of shit, but it was those shits that molded him into being the fantastic writer he became in the end. His dad is constant advising, even though it didn't seem plain and simple and all friendly, they all added up to molding him into the fantastic man he became at the end. He went to LA, he stopped working too hard, concentrated on his passion, and made friend, settled the score he had with his neighbor who was poking at him with them dead rats. His dad really played a big role in his life, and then this book is centered around everything and many things that happened between Justin Happen and his father. It's a very beautiful book. I recommend that you go read it. You get a copy and you read it. It's affordable. I bought my £1. Try. How much would you get yours? I don't know. Try at your bookshops. I want to read the back. The summary at the back, and so you have an insight into what I'm talking about. It says, growing up, every time I saw a men's magazine cover that had a headline about 73 ways to please your girlfriend, all I could think was, I am good with that. I'm good with one. Just tell me one way to please her. Also, I don't have a girlfriend. Is there an article about that? He's a very funny person. You need to really read it. You would enjoy it, guaranteed. Also, I want to give you a little insight into the story. The story is about Justin. Justin, all his life has been looking to, get a girl and go to bed with a girl, get his virginity out of the way. And unfortunately, it happened for all of his friends, but him. Literally all of his friends got their virginities broken, but Justin tried very hard, but fortunately he finally got his virginity broken when he began to work at a Hooters restaurant. He was working at a Hooters restaurant, and that should be around when he was 20 or 23 years. He finally got one of the Hooters waitress to disvirgin him, and then she dumps him. And then the next thing, he begins to try again for relationship, because he was wanting that companionship, and he didn't get too lucky until he began to listen to his father again. He left his home, he went to LA, and things weren't going very well, and he had to go back home. And then his daddy had a wonderful talk with him and telling him, take some $700, stop working too hard, focus on your passion, and things will be all right. And then he went to LA. He cut down on his waitressing work. He began to write, which was his original intentions anyway. He just got carried away. So he began to write again, and then voila! Here comes his woman, the woman of his dreams, the woman who who will make him happy for the rest of his life, and the woman who was also a big part of this book. Although his father was the center, but she, became a bigger part of this book. And so I want to read to you the very last paragraph in the book, and it was to her. It says, "Finally, thank you to my wife, Amanda, his real wife in real life. She's the best partner I could ever have hoped for, and without her, I wouldn't even have wanted to write this book. Amanda, thank you for letting me drive you insane while I wrote this. Just remember, even when I am old and decrepit, I will always bring you a glass of water before bed. I love you." It's all in here. It's a beautiful book. Justin Halpern is a beautiful soul. His dad is an amazing man. His mom is amazing, but like people say, the opposites attract. So while his daddy was a major voice in his head while he was growing, his mommy was subtle. But it's not bad because obviously you don't want two major voices in your head. So they do balance themselves. It's a beautiful book. I really recommend that you go get your copy and read it. It's highly rated in my rating card. And also, if you want to join my book reading club, feel free to send me an email. I live in London. If you live in London, we could start a book club, where we exchange books and read it and probably make a review on it. Thank you for watching my review on I Suck at Girls, Shit My Dad Says by Justin Happen. I'll see you in my next book review.